think that Arsenal, when it comes to
And we
pressure,
are until we prove them
the
wrong.
bottlers,
It's as simple as that.
the media fit with bottlers, some of our fans fit with bottlers. So it's a situation where
You are until you prove them wrong. Let that
Victor
fuel you.
is going to be scrutinised very heavily. You know, the fact is that Victor is Berta signing. That's not putting Berta down. I'm putting Victor down. But the fact is, if you spent
Right.
2 or 3 years, over nearly 2 years, trying to court a player to come to you, and it doesn't happen, and then at the 11th hour, well, we've got this guy, you know,
I'm happy Berta pivoted, man. Like,
there's
I
nothing
hear
wrong
you,
with that.
Arteta, we want Sesko. He costs too much, please.
Not every
Keep it
manager
moving.
gets their first choice.
You can
Not
get your
everyone
little
gets their
Madueke.
first choice. But the fact is that, you know, I look at Victor. I hope he does work out for Victor. I really do, because we need it to work out for Victor. You know, he's got. Oh God, well, I don't want to see that crap. But I'll let
I've
you on
got
because
an
you're under
opinion,
40.
Kenny. If Gyökeres doesn't work, it's on Arteta, not Gyökeres.
No, it's not a case. Look, the trouble is that there's going to be different interpretations of whether it works or not. I still think if he scored 15 league goals and more in the league and gets about 5 or 6,
13 more.
8 goals in the Champions League and Cup goals, and scores 23 league and Cup goals, that's a successful season.
He's done his thing,
Well,
yeah.
for a modern striker, outside Mbappe and Haaland, that is success. It is success, isn't it? Because what we're seeing is that it's only Mbappe and Haaland who are getting these insane numbers. No, there's no striker in European football who I've seen. You know, he's getting a thing. Yeah, but Sesko's not fit, CJ. The fact is, I'm not putting Sesko down. I'm not saying that. The fact is, he's not fit, just like the Gyökeres. Simple.
Nah, but Sesko's fitted though. He's had a pre-season.
Oh, come on. He didn't have a pre-season. Both of them didn't have pre-seasons. None of them had pre-seasons.
And plus, to be fair, I feel sorry for Sesko because you're walking into a horrible environment at Man United where I think you personally need a more experienced striker to hold his hand a bit.
He chose Man United over Newcastle. No,
I would do the same.
Newcastle. But he didn't. He went for the money.
You know what? Let me stop myself. Would I choose Man United or Newcastle? In terms of the project, maybe Newcastle. Historic. I'm 30. I remember United. I'm still.
Yeah, and that's the thing. But he's chosen Man United. I'm not comparing them. The fact is that whether we like it or not, Mick Arteta prefers Sesko to Gyökeres. That's a fact. I didn't make this up. I'm not going to move the wheel, you know, and move the narrative because I want to get interviewed by a Mick Arteta or go on Sky Sports representing Arsenal. I don't need that. I'm just saying as it is. I've got no friend. I don't want to be anyone's friend. I don't want to be friends with the top creators. I don't want to be friends with Sky. I've got actually friends who work at Sky. One of a good friend of mine I worked with before. He's agent to Martin Keown. He's agent to what's his name? Micah Richards. He's agent to all these players, right? But when me and him talk, I don't want to say, oh yeah, by the way, mate, can you get us a gig with Sky? No, because I'm not a beg. Right. He's my mate because we talk about other things, and because he asked about my family, I asked about him. I mean, I've supported him in his rise up. I don't want to use that friendship like some of these begs do.
You'd be surprised, Kenny, man. For every one person like yourself that's got a moral compass,
that's why he still comes and chats to me because he knows I don't ask anything from him. I'm not about that life. So because I don't have this albatross of desire or ambition, I say it as it is. It's not personal against Arteta.
It's just calling it how you see it.
It's just that the way I look at it, my love for Arsenal supersedes any Arteta's feelings, your feelings, supersedes my brother's feelings. Arsenal is my first love, and the club's bigger. I always say the biggest star is Arsenal. Arsenal is bigger than Henry. It's bigger than Wenger. It's bigger than
all of us.
It's bigger than anything else.
And JD, fuck that overlap, man. They're just on some agendas.
Not personal. It's not personal. You know, it ain't personal. I stopped singing. I told you when I stopped singing the players' songs because I was really the Addy Boyle thing finished me off. So I thought, you know what? My club comes first.
Don't worry, man. May 2026, we got Super Mick Arteta. It's gonna be lit.
The fact is, you should always sing for your club, because at the end of the day, I don't know what field you work in, or well, you obviously work Dillard's full time now, because you've got the right people behind you, and you're successful what you do.
Big up DG Nation, man. Appreciate all of you lot.
Successful what you do, but there's some people who work in IT, some people work in local authority, some people work in accountancy, some people
got the 9 to 5s
in logistics, like Gigal, he works in logistics, and some people are statisticians. Either way, when you work in these kind of fields, it's one of the things where obviously you can either collect your money at the end of the month or try and go up that high. You know what I mean? But within those fields, there's permanent workers, and there's it's never gonna happen, JD, mate. but there's consultants. Like, for instance, in footballing terms, everyone's a consultant. There's no permanent job in football. A manager's job is a temporary job.
You're a tenant, man. You got a short shelf life.
You work in council tax and business rates. Rather than give someone a permanent job, you'll go and go to a temporary an agency to get someone who can work for you for about a year, 6 months, 3 months. That's a footballer's life. 3-year contracts. A manager.
It's a circle. This football life, man.
I was speaking to a player. I don't know if you heard of him. A guy called Scott Minto. He works in the media.
Yeah.
Right. Scott Minto. When I was actually had a break, Easter break, with the family, kids, and everything, and it was we stayed at Cyan House, where Sky. You know where Sky Sports. You've been there anyway. You've been at Cyan House, haven't you? So when you've been on Sky Sports, they put you up in that hotel, right? Just play along anyway. Play along.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been there. I've never been on Sky Sports. I've been there. I know what you're referring to.
Right, so basically,
massive complex. A nice hotel.
Saturday, when we stayed at Cyan House, I didn't realise that Sky did that. I sort of soccer Saturday lot. So there's a picture of me. I'm not going to show it, but it's a picture of me, Charlie Nicholas, Phil Thompson.
We want to see it, man.
Camera, and there's a picture of Jeff Stelling, all those guys, and there we had a picture together, and Charlie Nicholas, of course, all of those guys.
They got the fast food workers.
Afterwards, I met Paul Merson.
That must have been fun.
Basically, you look at the situation, right? Is that I've met all those guys, and that's the situation when I've been to Sky. So I've seen it, it all happen. But all I'm saying at the end of the day is that that's my life and that's their life. You know what I mean?
And that's why I like having you on this platform, man, because again, you just say it as it is, as you've been explaining eloquently. You don't give a monkeys about the industry, and you speak for a section of Arsenal fans. That's one reason for me, anyways. While I'll always get the news and the gals on, because it's different thoughts and everything.
But you know it is that
I don't want it to be a vacuum. We're all saying the same things. Look at the same things.
I'm not picking myself up, but one thing I've noticed is that when you look at the podcasts, the successful podcasts as well, there's a lot of people who have the same opinions as I do, but there isn't actually someone.
There's not a vehicle for it, man.
They rightly so. New media is a young man's game, so obviously you want to be around young people. You want to hear their views, because most of our fans who watch this show, they're young. You want someone who's got a common with you. Don't want to see this.
You know, the maddest thing is actually more older people than younger people.
Yeah, but I know it. But
it's crazy. You just made me remember that.
If you're trying to, get,
which is probably why it needs to change.
You don't want to see. You don't want to see this, do you? You don't want to see this. You don't want to see that. You want to see someone who meets the part. For instance, you look at a lot of YouTubers. There's one YouTuber, I won't mention his name. He tends to sort of like. He would like to get people on who are relevant. So whoever's relevant is his peers now. So when you're not his peers, you're not needed. But if you're relevant, you're his peers. So for instance, there's certain people who will go, younger people obviously will go on certain shows, right? And because they got that, they've been on the shows where the show's got about 10, 15,000, 40,000 views I exaggerate, but you know what I'm getting at. Oh, and the guys most talked about, he'll get a guest shot on their show because in order to stay relevant, you want people who are relevant at the time.
You're gonna hang around the.
Love you loads, man. DJ Gatty, thank you, man. But that is the situation. So I speak to a lot of people who go to football, and the people I sit with, they don't have, social media that's there for them. So what I do is that I haven't asked for this position, but I was speaking on their behalf. I'm not saying they agree with everything I say verbatim, but they have a certain viewpoint of football, and they've watched games, from previous years. Obviously, they go back to the conception of Premier League, and some of them even go back to the Football League, which was again where it was basically the top clubs in the 80s and 90s were Spurs, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, and Everton. So there has to be that kind of representation. You know what I mean? All right, it might not get any views, DG, but that's how the situation is. So I just feel honoured that people still ask me on, because
nah, man, you're part of this channel. You're part of the family, Kenny, man.
You think of it from a logical point of view. When you do get to see the podcast, it is younger people. Obviously, Lee Judges is older than me.
Another one, big up Lee.
But Lee's done fantastic. Because
he speaks from his heart. Like he's Marmite, innit? Like a lot of us are. I think I'm the same. You like me or you hate me.
He's a decent man. He's a good man.
Very good bloke.
Lovely man. Good mate. I love it.
I'm never going to tell you the sun's shining when it's raining.
And I always say that when you work in new media and you work in sort of like the mainstream, I always quote John Lyall. John Lyall, God bless his soul, late West Ham manager, managed Paul Ince, managed Trevor Brookie, managed Frank Lampard's, like I said, dad, says, it's not nice to be important. It's more important to be nice. And I think in this field, the people who are not nice, right, are the people who don't do well.
A lot of brown nose. It's like any industry, man. It's not what you know, it's who you know. There's a lot of brown nose
people.
You gotta remember, this industry is controlled by nerds. You gotta make nerds feel special. Because Kenny, on a serious note, these lot, yeah, I promise you, and I know this for a fact, there's people that get thousands, if not millions of views. Everything's looking lit, everything's great, they're on everything, but they're jealous of the yous, the me's, and everybody else, because they know when you strip it all back, they're not authentic. The culture don't.
But they get found out. All the people I've seen fail, who've been brought down and been cancelled, especially when it comes to the mainstream and in YouTube.
Don't build your house on the sand, man.
They're not nice people. I tell you that for a fact. They're not nice people, and they get theirs. And you try to tell them, be careful. And what happens is that when they get cancelled, they see all the people that are horrible on the way down. You have to be nice.
I always say the same rope you climb upon is the same one they start hanging with. Be nice to everybody.
Nice. People give you the benefit of the doubt. But you're not a horrible person. Let me tell you something now. Whenever someone has their downfall, right? Whenever someone has their downfall, I'll tell you one thing right now. It's not the one thing that will bring you down. There's other things in the pipeline. Remember, we're talking about David Coots. Yeah? The starting point was obviously the remarks about Klopp. But I can tell you one thing. This revolting thing, they had it in the pipeline where they don't get you. And I think that's the thing with a lot of people. There's one person who obviously was brought down publicly, but I could tell you behind the scenes where he worked, he was completely unpopular. He was grossly unpopular, utterly detested. People only got in touch with, only kept in with him because they thought that it will help him, and if they got on his right side, it will help him stay on a particular
There's so
channel.
many cunts in the game that I like that people.
I won't mention names. And then when the downfall happened, they were at a party when he left. And they even
people are waiting to see you crumble.
And they actually, some of them even went on disassociated themselves without even asking. Others had podcasts, or the ones where, well, I know people in the chat, right, are asking about this, but I really think I need to talk about this. You don't need to talk about it. You want to talk about it because you want to basically say, "Hee, got you back." You know what I'm talking about. You don't need to talk about someone's downfall. But
for me, I'll just let God. I'll let God deal with these things, man.
And that's the thing. I'm a God-fearing man as well. The fact is,
because I know with myself, yeah, anytime someone's tried to throw me under the mud or in the dirt, yeah, like I'm a rose. Like you're helping me, bro. Like,
yeah, but I always say to myself is that the day will come when you will have to explain yourself when you're at the pearly gates, because there's only when you get to the pearly gates, there's only two destinations. There's no in the middle. They say purgatory exists, but there's only two places
where we're in now, actually,
and that's the situation. Be nice at all times, because if you're not nice, then what will happen is that if you're habitually horrible, you forget actually how many people you've annoyed and pissed off.
People don't forget how you make them feel. You know, they forget what you said. They won't forget how you make them feel.
You'll forget about it, but they'll remember that. And then when you fall down, because you do fall down, because eventually people are just going to have had enough of you and just say, "Look, your behaviour's intolerable. You know, you're horrible to be around. You're a nasty person. I can't take no more. Off you go," and blah blah. Yeah, we might take a hit on views, we might take a hit on the sponsors, but you're gone. I don't want you gone. And then what all the other people think, you know what? Phew, someone's.
And it just takes one real one to rise up against that person, and all the other minions that don't like you are on you now.
But you know what's happened is that certain people, there's a couple of people where when they cancelled, they actually shut the door. The door's closed. Like
come back.
The two people I'm talking about, one of them, right, both of them have never appeared in any guests on anyone's podcast. So it's been a successful takedown. It's a successful takedown. And that's
like this comment says, you receive back the energy you put out, man.
And that's all because the people weren't nice.
And I personally feel my thing, Kenny, is like, I don't like my friends always say this, like, you forget that you're kind of a popular face. I'm like, I am not a popular face, but like, bro, we're just talking about football. If I was a footballer, I still wouldn't be like this, but I could understand it, bro. We're just chatting shit on YouTube. You're not better or worse than anyone. And that's how I go for my life. I don't care if you're a millionaire, you ain't got a penny. You can't talk to me any sort of way. And I'm not. If you give me respect, you get respect. You disrespect me, I disrespect you.
My advice to everyone who's got a content creator: if you see if people in public and they come up to you, give them a hug, give them a picture, be nice. Seriously, without that, you're nowhere.
You're never gonna get that. You're not gonna get no hate. Well, I can't comment for everybody, but you're never gonna get no hate in the flesh. People will go and I'm pretty sure I probably met people that said, "Oh, I love your content." They on YouTube chatting shit, like, and I appreciate all the legitimate support. You're never gonna get any hate. No one ain't gonna do nothing to you. Every day I get comments. Don't come to the Emirates.
But 9 out of 10 times, if someone comes up to you at ground and tells you they're being nice to you, they generally mean it. So I do think that the situation you've got to be. That's why I look at the modern players, and one thing I do respect. Right, I've seen the parents of some of their players at games. So you, and I think some of the behaviour of the majority of them have been exemplary. They've been really good. They're humble. They're nice to people. They're kind. Mars Lewis Skelly's mum is a
legend. Big up Marcia, legend.
I saw her again one time, and she didn't push in. She didn't wait. She waited her turn, and she waited, and then she came in and she asked the person who was, and I just thought, yeah, that's not. I like you, but I've seen other parents. Obviously, God bless. And I'm not the Bellinghams. They're awful people. The Bellinghams, Mr. and Mrs. Bellingham, are just horrible people. I've been hearing stories of their behaviour at Euro 24 in Germany, and you can see where the two boys
the other week, apparently with the younger boy.
Yeah, and you saw the conduct of the dad when his son got substituted. But apparently,
dad was a fed.
That's always been the case. They're horrible, entitled, horrible people. Those two, mum and dad, and the boys, horrible, entitled people.
And I don't understand entitlement, because we all leave the earth with what we came here for. Fuck all.
Yeah.
Don't matter if you get a gold casket or you get cremated. You all going 6 foot under.
Yeah.
We all going there. So just be nice.
Yeah. Well, we've done that. We could talk about a match then, because you brought up a team.
Yeah. I wanted to close this, Kenny, on this, man. Like,
I'll tell you one thing, right? I don't want to burst your bubble, but I think 4-4-2.
No, this ain't my team.
You know when you have your starting lineups, right? 4-4-2 is basically you revert to 4-4-2 when
you're defending
a match. So in game, when you start a game, there's no 4-4-2. But obviously, when you make your substitutions, you're trying to get that equaliser, you're trying to get that winner that's going to give you the win, and you go top of the table, or get that winner so you can get into the next round of the cup, where you can get to the final. Yeah, 4-4-2, right? That looks good. But the start position, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. That's from DR Sports, isn't it? That's not going to happen.
I saw it online. I was mainly asking you because of Gyökeres and Marino.
Yeah, but ideally, you know what it is? It's trying to fit all the sort of chess pieces.
All the players we all want in the team, trying to get them in.
You look at 4-4-2, that's lopsided. Because simple reason is that the way we play now, when we play 4-3-3, you're basically saying
it's not going to work because he's going to drop into midfield. He's going to be narrow. He's going to be narrow. That's going to be a free. And there's a gap here. So it's not going to bang.
No, I'll tell it. You're basically saying only Marino, right? Only Marino is the only person, right? Sorry, so Zubimendi's the only person who's got to protect that back four, and all of them are going to attack. So you've got Eze attacking, you've got Saka attacking, you've got Declan Rice attacking. They're all going to support. So basically, do you remember back in the day when we first played football, where before 4-4-2, you had 4-2-4, two midfielders, and you had basically like two wingers who stayed up.
That's kiddie football, though.
Kiddie football, yeah. Well, what they do, they see 4-4-2 as kiddie football, because what's happening is that
I don't think it works in the modern game.
It does. 4-4-2 doesn't work in a modern game, because
at least not like how it looks here on paper.
4-4-2
DJB as well.
4-4-2 only works worked in the 80s. But if you look at it, when England played in the World Cups in the sort of 80s and 90s, when they played against the better teams, they always the opposition always had a spare man in midfield. So
when you overrun very quickly like this,
you've got a spare man in midfield, because basically the only person who's going to support Zubimendi is going to be Declan Rice. Eze's not going to support Zubimendi, and neither is Saka going to do. All they're doing is basically attacking lineup. You know what I mean? And the only reason why they fought this one up is because Marino scored a hat-trick for Spain.
Naturally. But that is something probably a lot of Arsenal fans
and that's the situation. It
what's your lineup for Forest then?
Oh, it's funny to say that. I've got. It's going to be controversial, but the reason why it's been controversial, not because I'm trying. I'm actually going to sit on the fence. I'm going to let you decide that, because I have reservations. So I'm going to. That's a controversy in what I'm saying. So basically,
I'll say mine. Obviously, no clue on how everybody's
after you.
I don't know how everybody's returned to London Coley, if anyone's carrying any knocks and
niggles. No, forget that. You know, two players.
Cool. Raya, Gabriel Magalhaes.
Yeah, but you know who's not going to play. You know Saka.
I know Saliba's not there. So Mascara, Timber.
Yeah.
He ain't put a foot wrong, and it's probably biased. Miles Lewis Skelly. So now that's the back five, including Raya. Midfield three: Rice, Zubimendi, Martin Odegaard, Saka on the right, Eze on the left. Obviously, the man, the myth, Gyökeres through the middle. That's me.
Right. This is my team. On the interest of fairness and form, in goal, Raya. Left back has to be Calafiori. He's in front of Miles Lewis Skelly at the moment.
Fair.
Right back is Jeremy Timber. One, because he's the better right back, and Benjamin White is not fit enough to push him at the moment. Centre halves are Mascara and Gabriel. Gabriel plays in his best position on the left-hand side.
And even that, they've got him on the right here.
Yeah, and Mascara on the right. Midfield, Martin Odegaard, Zubimendi, and Declan Rice. Right-hand side is our good friend.
I said Saka. Sorry, Madueke, because Saka ain't going to be there.
I said Madueke. Up top is Gyökeres. I'm not convinced. I was convinced Eze would start, at Anfield. Logic, footballing logic says that he should play on the left-hand side. But my sixth sense still thinks he may play there, but my sixth sense doesn't say he will play there. That's
so
why
I'm with Nelly off the left.
Because I'm in terms of how he wants to play and how he wants his left forward to play. I haven't. Eze, obviously, he'll do it. Because,
yeah, but we're not going to start now. You might start against Bilbao, but you're not going to start next week against City. So if you're not going to do it now, when are you going to do it, Gaff?
I still think, effectively, Trossard and Martinelli off the ball have pleased the manager. Up top. No, I'm not picking them. I'm just saying off the ball.
I hear you with the Martinelli comment, but I don't agree with the Trossard one.
Both of them are terrible when it comes to what Trossard's inconsistent.
He does put in the shift, but he don't really.
The fact is, right, is that there's always this. I think he will start Eze, but I'm not going to put my house in it because the Liverpool.
But then what's your lineup though?
Well, my lineup.
Ideal world. Obviously, it's with the parameters of who's injured and who is not going to be here.
You know what? For this game, because I did not want to see Martinelli and Trossard, I would play Eze on the left for now. But that's not the position I want him to play.
Fair.
That's not the position that I think he'll get the best out of him.
Fair.
Simple as. Because let's face it, you're going to give Eze the ball in areas where he has to adjust his game. He has to
do it, man.
But when you watch him play his best football, the only time you've seen him be effective from that side. Remember the first goal? Remember the goal against Fulham in the 3-0 in the cup where he was on that side of the pitch, the touchline, and he cut in, and he cut in and cut in and cut in. The players followed him, and he made an angle, shot me in. But in a semi-final,
I'm sure he did something similar last season against QPR's former team as well.
So that's one of the situations where I'll do it for now. But when it gets to say Saka's fit,
do you risk him though? Do you leave him for next week? Well, next week.
Saka's fit. If Saka's fit and
if Saka's fit, he doesn't start.
Ask the question: if Saka's fit and Madueke's playing really well, and he starts scoring goals, and that's a big if. And what do you do with Madueke?
What do you mean if there's an extended run of form for, like, let's say, what are you talking, like Madueke scored 4 goals on a spin or had 4 goals before?
That's asking too much for him. Maybe some good performances, some chances created, an assist, and a couple of goals. That's really
Saka's still playing against City. Like in an ideal world, if Saka is on that if Saka is in that squad, for me, 20 minutes max. You got another week. I wouldn't even start you against Bilbao. You get some minutes there. Starting against City.
I wasn't alluding to that. I know Saka's always starts games for me. I was talking about.
I get where you're going. Are you asking me if Madueke goes on the
left-hand side? I'm asking that question.
But I'll be real. Because of where I'm at now, I still don't think either Eze or Madueke are the long-term left-handed solutions. But they're the only two I want to see at this moment in time. With the greatest of respect to Martinelli and Trossard.
If you go by form of the player and he's hot like a casserole, he's probably even hotter than a casserole.
I'm still going Eze and Saka then. I know you got to be a bit cute and clever and play on form, but if them two are fit, they're the ones. Madueke, if you're in form, I'm the manager, get the hut with me when you come off the bench.
Whether Eze's finding his feet.
Well, I need you to find your feet then. Eze, you're still playing, bro. No, you're still playing.
I hear you. But
I ain't got time for none of that other stuff, man.
The theme of the show.
But then you're right, because we would be carrying Eze and Gyökeres to a degree if that's the case. So then
that's what you're trying to say. The theme of the show is about the season starting on the 17th of August. We can't carry players. They have to hit the ground running.
But then if Madueke ain't scoring, Kenny, like, what is good form then? Because the bar's on the floor. Not to get at Madueke, just being devil's advocate. Because remember I said 4 goals or 4 and 4